Something came into my mind about Sean Puff Daddy Combs and all of the legal entanglements he is involved in. And the thing that I wondered is, was Sean Combs running a modern day buck breaking operation on behalf of some of the giants in the entertainment business? If you're not familiar with buck breaking, that's something that occurred during slavery. If a slave, particularly a male slave, was unruly, one of the practices to break them was to publicly, in front of the other slaves and the slave's family, subject them to punishment, beatings, and rape by the slave masters or folks that work for the slave masters to humiliate that slave and break their spirit. So when I started thinking about all of the charges and allegations surrounding Sean Combs, it felt like that is what was going on. Because in reading all of the accounts, the fact that these encounters were recorded and could be revealed to keep someone that would be considered rebellious under control. And at any time, the threat of that going public could rein that person back in line, and actually gave Sean Combs or the people above him total control of what was taking place. You might say, why would that even be a thing? Well, there are billions of dollars involved in the entertainment business. And sometimes the stars get to the point where they think they are above their employers. And that may have actually happened with Sean Combs. He at one point, I think, took action against a liquor company that he was prominently promoting. And, he went around with an aura of invincibility, not really hiding that he was the party promoter, the party instigator that everybody rotated around. But when this came crashing down, I said, you know what? This sounds like a buck breaking operation, but not just for males, for anyone that he can ensnare. Because once they went into that door and they stayed too late and the things started happening, they were compromised. And at any time, they could be humiliated and out of the business. In fact, they didn't have a lot of room to complain because of the way that industry works. You either go through the door and they open up the process for you to be promoted, for you to become famous, but it could be yanked at any time. And if you remember, there was a time where Prince stopped using his own name and put a symbol, and at one point, slave as his moniker. The business is very harsh. And apparently, the people that run it think these folks have to be under control. And you either walk out that door before something happens, because if you stay too late, you could be involved in the buck breaking. And it just didn't ensnare men. It ensnared anyone that got lured into the trap. Now, buck breaking, I have that described in my book, 1/8 of a Man, Hate for the Skin I'm In, and how it came about and what part it played during slavery. So we don't have, in the sense of how it was in the past, just widespread slavery. But I think we have some people that have been subjugated by things that are going on, like what Sean Puff Daddy Combs was involved in. You have to be careful.